Have you ever noticed how some people enter a room and, without saying a single word, the energy shifts? They aren't necessarily the loudest or the best dressed, yet people naturally gravitate toward them like moths to a flame. Most people think charisma is something you're born with. But psychology suggests it's actually a byproduct of your internal state, your inner compass. Today, we're breaking down the 7 psychological signs that you possess a magnetic aura. And stick around, because sign number 4 is the one most people mistake for being antisocial when it's actually your greatest strength. Sign 1, you are comfortably silent, the power of stillness. In the world of social intelligence, silence is the ultimate power move. Most people suffer from social anxiety that manifests as an uncontrollable urge to fill every gap in a conversation. They use filler words or nervous chatter because they fear that a lull in the dialogue reflects a lack of chemistry or personal failure. However, a person with a magnetic aura understands the psychology of silence. When you can sit with someone, or even stand in a crowded elevator, without checking your phone or fidgeting, you are projecting a high level of emotional autonomy. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about holding the space. By staying still, you signal to the subconscious minds of others that you are not seeking external validation to feel secure. You are the anchor in the room. This lack of reactive behavior is a key trait of high-value individuals. While everyone else is performing, you are simply existing. This creates a vacuum effect. People find themselves drawn to your calm because it contrasts so sharply with the frantic energy of modern life. In the realm of body language, being comfortably silent suggests you have nothing to prove, which is the most attractive stance a person can take. Sign 2, the pause before you speak, the buffer zone. If you want to command respect instantly, you must master the psychology of the pause. Most people react to questions with instant reflex answers because they are afraid of losing the listener's attention. But magnetic people utilize a buffer zone. When someone asks you a question, taking a deliberate, 2-second pause before responding signals emotional intelligence and executive control. It tells the world that you are a deep thinker rather than a reflexive reactor. This technique is a staple in charismatic leadership. It creates a rhythmic tension that forces the other person to lean in. It suggests that your words are carefully curated and, therefore, more valuable. By not rushing to fill the air, you demonstrate that you are the master of your own time and tempo. This subtle shift in communication skills moves you from being a supplicant, someone who is chasing the conversation, to being the authority that others follow. It's a silent declaration of self-worth that resonates far louder than the words you eventually speak. Sign 3, active presence, the light bulb effect. The greatest life hack for building rapport is 100% presence. We live in a distraction economy where everyone is mentally somewhere else, checking their notifications or scanning the room for a more important person to talk to. When you give someone your undivided attention, you are engaging in a form of psychological generosity. This is known as the light bulb effect. When you focus your energy on someone, they feel like they are glowing under a spotlight. From a behavioral psychology standpoint, being seen and heard triggers the release of oxytocin in the brain. People don't just remember what you said, they remember the high they felt while talking to you. You aren't just listening to their words, you are observing their micro-expressions and hearing their subtext. By being radically present, you become a mirror that reflects their best self back to them. This makes you incredibly memorable because, in a world full of ghosts, you are the only one who is truly there. Sign 4, high walls, open gates, the scarcity principle. In personality psychology, there is a massive difference between being likable and being magnetic. People who are overly agreeable often lack an aura because they have no boundaries. Magnetic individuals, however, operate on the scarcity principle. You have high walls, meaning you don't grant everyone immediate access to your inner life. You have strong boundaries, and you are selective about who you spend your time with. This creates a sense of mystery and social value. However, the magnetism happens because of the open gates. Once someone passes your test of character, you treat them with immense warmth and transparency. This exclusivity makes your friendship feel like a reward. People value what they have to earn. If you are an open book to everyone on the street, your pages become cheap. But if you are a hidden library that requires a key, people will spend their whole lives trying to find that key. This balance of stoic mystery and vulnerable warmth is the secret sauce of a compelling personality. Sign 5. You don't mirror other people's anxiety, emotional dominance. One of the most powerful signs of a magnetic aura is emotional non-reactivity. Most people are social chameleons. They subconsciously mirror the stress, speed, and anxiety of the people they are around. If a boss is frantic, the employee becomes frantic. But a magnetic person acts as a social thermostat. You don't register the temperature of the room, you set the temperature of the room. This is a trait often found in alpha personalities and natural leaders. If someone approaches you with high-energy panic, and you respond with low-energy composure, a psychological shift occurs. The other person's nervous system will eventually begin to entrain to yours. They will start to breathe slower, speak softer, and feel calmer just by being in your proximity. This ability to remain unshakable makes you a natural magnet for people seeking stability. In a chaotic world, the person who remains grounded becomes the center of gravity for everyone else. This is subconscious influence at its finest. If you're still watching this, comment the word grounded below so I know who the true deep divers are. It helps me know which topics to cover next. Sign 6. You speak with low stakes, the art of detachment. Magnetism is inversely proportional to neediness. When you enter a social interaction with high stakes, meaning you need to be liked, you need to be right, or you need to close a deal, people can smell the desperation. It's a repellent energy. Magnetic people speak with low stakes. You share your thoughts and stories without any attachment to how they are received. You aren't selling yourself, you are simply sharing yourself. This is a core pillar of self-confidence. When you don't seek a specific outcome, you are free to be witty, provocative, and honest. If someone disagrees with you, you don't get defensive, you find it interesting. This lack of social friction makes you incredibly easy to be around. People feel a sense of freedom in your aura because they realize you aren't judging them or yourself. By letting go of the need to control the narrative, you ironically gain full control over the social dynamics. Sign 7. Radical authenticity, the Pratfall Effect. The final and most important sign of a magnetic aura is authenticity. In social psychology, the Pratfall Effect suggests that people who are perceived as competent become more attractive when they show a flaw or make a mistake. Why? Because perfection is intimidating and uncanny. It feels like a mask. True magnetism comes from being integrated, owning both your strengths and your shadow side. When you stop trying to curate a perfect image and start being radically real, you remove the social filter that most people use. You admit when you're wrong, you joke about your quirks, and you don't hide your niche interests. This signals a high level of self-acceptance. When you accept yourself completely, the world has no choice but to follow suit. This is the ultimate inner compass realization. You don't become magnetic by adding traits, you become magnetic by removing the fakeness that hides your true self. Magnetism isn't a performance, it's a reflection of how much you trust yourself. If you recognize these signs in yourself, you're already operating from a place of high internal alignment. Which of these signs surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to point your inner compass toward a better version of yourself, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.